What's up, my 1111 YouTube friends? Cheers. Well, look at what the cat drug in. Before I start talking about this, I need to thank one of my viewers. Sent me a present in the mail, and it was a pretty cool present too. I have to thank John. He lives in Florida, and he sent me a couple Polaris books, and he sent me an email out of the blue one day and just asked for my mailing address. He says, I want to send you something. I didn't ask what or why. I sent him my address, and within a few days, box shows up. I open it up, and it was really freaking cool. And he sent me this awesome letter with it, full-page letter, typed out. Don't see those very often anymore. Sends that with the books, and that's really cool. Thanks again, John. I really appreciate it. And yeah, that was really awesome. So this is what he sent me. He sent me a 1996 the Polaris Racing Manual, and then he also sent me another manual that covers the 80s into the 90s book. And that's stuff we can always use around here, and we really appreciate something like that passed on to us. And I'm going to hang on to this letter too. I actually had it sitting inside of the racing book here. And once again, John, thanks a ton for thinking of us and for mailing those books to us. We'll definitely put them to use. Well, here it is, guys. Next project up, it's March. What do? Start building a snowmobile for next season. No way this thing's going to hit the snow this winter, but it'll hit the snow next winter. What we're going to be starting off with here is a 97 SPX that I bought last fall. And Nutter, a couple months ago on Nutter's channel, he talked about how I name all my projects. And he said he was going to start actually giving some of his projects names too, so people kind of know what he's talking about instead of just this one XLT and that one XLT and this XLT. He started giving his projects names too. And I've always done it just because in our group of friends, it was just easier to say the name of the project that we're working on, or the sled over there, you know, because Duct Tape Mike has so many sleds, and we have a bunch of them between me and Trenton, and so we just always gave him a name. So Nutter actually said on his channel, he was talking about the project names of our sleds, and he actually didn't think I had named this sled when I called it what I did. But yeah, this is Project Part Sled, and when I brought it home last year, I called it Part Sled, and never really hinting around that we were going to build something out of it, but we are. Trenton's in the process of taking it all apart, so we can start with the first step is pressure washing the years of triple grease out of this thing. And we're going to build a pretty unique, kind of a special sled. I wanted to put another wedge back into our collection of sleds, and this is actually going to end up being a Wedge SPX. I'm going to make it every effort I can to make this thing look like a 97 SPX when it's done, but it's going to be a Wedge. And we're going to stretch it out a little bit. I think we're going to go to a 136, like 1.25 inches, maybe 1.5 inches at the most lug track, but I'm going to look for 1.25 inches. That seems to work out pretty good. We got a few of them running 1.25 inches, and the kind of riding we do in the trails that we ride, 1.25 inches is really all you need. Much beyond that, you're burning up high facts all the time. I have a lightweight wedge hood for this thing that I'm going to paint to make it look like a 97, the color of it. And then I'm going to get a set of 97 graphics, and I'm going to make it fit that hood as best I can. And so we're going full wedge here, but it's all going to be 97 SPX. I have 2 sets of pipes I can choose from. I have a set hanging over there, a set of stock blasters, or I have a set of LRMs. Trenton really doesn't want me to use them because he wants to put them on cheapo. But cheapo's running pretty sweetness now that we've got the carbs tuning a lot better. So I have options on pipes. The stock ones aren't going to fit in a wedge chassis, but like I said, I have 2 sets of aftermarket pipes I can run. Yeah, and we'll change out the bars and everything. I mean, this thing is going to look as close to a wedge as you possibly can get. It's going to have the bigger suspension on it for a nicer ride. I'm going to retain the seat, but I might go with a kind of a little bit of a custom cover on it to try and make it look more like a wedge also. I'm thinking, because I always liked the early 90s wedges with the tank cover and stuff, a tank cover in the separate seat. So I'm gonna try and have Scotty's make me a seat cover and then have a tank cover that looks like a tank cover also over the top of it, so it kind of splits the seat up. Like I said, just trying to make it look like an early 90s wedge, but it's gonna look like a 97 SPX when it's all done. So be a pretty fun sled, be a fun rider, I'm guessing. Project Freedom, still waiting for the crank. Thought it was gonna be a quick turnaround, but Eric had to order a rod, and we're having a hell of a time trying to get the rod. So I haven't really been pushing hard on it. I was hoping to get it back on the snow, and it still might happen because we're getting more snow tomorrow. Another 9 inches up at our cabin. We have piles of snow up there right now. We just rode a bunch over the weekend. So we'll get this further along. This is just going to be kind of a fill-in project. It is starting to get to be spring, and I have a couple hot to trot projects, and that camper is one of them. And there's a 29 Ford Roadster back there that I need to really get some work done on. So, but Trenton was kind of wanting to get going on this thing. So we'll get it tore down, get everything cleaned up. I'm more likely to give it all the love. I'll probably powder coat all the suspension. I'll probably paint the tunnel. I'm not going to go as far as having the tunnel powder coated. I'll probably paint it myself. And then we'll be switching out the belly pan and making a hood fit, and it go from there. So stay tuned, everybody. Project Part Sled is in the shop, and we'll be getting this one together, and this is going to be a sweet little buggy when it's done. Thanks for watching, guys.